We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button. If you like our content, share the video with your family and your friends. If you want to support this college football rebel outpost with a donation, hit the $ where you make a comment, and I'll get you super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to be a legend. With your comments in the chat room and with your phone calls later in the show. Greg the Gold has arrived last week. 6-3. Oh, baby, I am hot. Greg the Gold is here. Let's go. No more losing, baby. No more losing. I hope. I pray. I still have a horrible winning percentage. Okay, cut the music. We are going to be making our predictions later in the monologue for week 14. And we've got 13 games lined up. So the PATC family, you all better be ready to make your picks, to put in your vote on what the family is going to choose. Because right now, I got to be honest with you. Right now, you guys are falling behind. I'm 59 and 76. You guys are 56 and 79. I've taken a 3-game insurmountable lead against you geniuses out there. So we're going to be making our picks, 13 of them. I think you guys are going to go first this time. I'm going to go second. Happy Thanksgiving, Greg and PATC peeps. Thank you so much, Carrie Goldnose. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Make sure you drop a little bit of cranberry all over your plate, and you're going to enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner. Give it a shot, Carrie Goldnose. Thank you so much for your generosity once again. Helping us keep the lights on here at PATC. Thank you, Carrie, so very much, Mr. Seminoles. But we are not going to start with our predictions. We are not going to start with our predictions. We're going to go into North Carolina, the new North Carolina Hot Board 2.0. Things have settled down a little bit. We got more information. We have come out of the clouds. The rain is gone. Now we can see clearly once again. Hot Board 2.0. We're going to give you what we believe to be the case that is going on. What the chatter is behind the curtain. Hot Board 2.0 Tar Heel style. North Carolina. Turning the page when we've talked about Bubba Cunningham being mighty aggressive in the year 2025. I think it's going to be the year of the Bubba in many, many different ways. He's starting off with a new head coach. Brace for impact. Patrick Baylor Bear is in the house. Kerry Goldnose, thanks again for your incredible generosity. Jose, USC. Ryan Brooks. Do they want Brian Kelly? Nah, they probably don't want Brian Kelly. Charlie Atwood is in the house. Richard L. Colorado Buffalo is here. Dave B. Humble, Bumble, Duck. George Holton, Osceola Trucker, Goldnose. Jake Chapman, no SEC expansion without the North Carolina Tar Heels. Matt Neeson. Matt, you might want to listen to our monologue. On this November 27th, Wednesday afternoon. Jan Holt is in the house. Preston from Greensboro, Hot Board 2.0. Black Rain made it on time today. Thank you for coming on in. Black Rain fighting Illini. Ted, really interesting that North Carolina is publicly portraying that they will go all in on football. Will they actually do it? I think they're going to come in at a much higher commitment level, and again, I think North Carolina is going to be something that we're going to be talking about throughout the 2025 calendar year. Jeff Morgan, Mr. Morgan, Morgantown, Jeff Morgan is in the house. Georgia Bulldog, Don Scruggs is here. Oh my goodness. Don Scruggs is in the house. Deadeye, yo Greg, yo Deadeye. Yo Deadeye. Nittany Lions 89. Great game by your Gophers last weekend. PJ and team played a great game. Thank you so very much. Congratulations to the Penn State Nittany Lions. They're about to grab that 6th seed in the playoffs. It could be 7. I think it's going to be 6. I think they're locked in pretty much on 6 home game. They're going to be playing the 3rd seed in the 2nd round. Things are lining up pretty good for Penn State. Tyler Warren, Drew Aller, Singleton, Allen, the whole mess of them. Okay, Bo Weevil, go Clemson. Bo Weevil, do not give up hope. Do not give up your hope. You need to beat the Gamecocks. You need a little bit of chaos somewhere. And Clemson is going to slide right on in to the college football playoff. BJ, me versus Echo Chamber is in the house. Steve-O is here. Mark Stoops to North Carolina? I don't think so. It could be. I don't think so. It could be, but I don't think so. I think Mark Stoops, if he could control the situation, I think Mark Stoops has his eyes set on a Big Ten opportunity when it finally comes open. And I'm not talking Minnesota. I'm talking a little south of Minnesota. John Till is in the house. Steele Austin is in the house. Oh my goodness. Michael D. Hart, thanks for coming on in. I appreciate it. Roger Dodger. Dallas Marquez. I haven't seen Dallas in a while. Thanks for coming on in. Appreciate it. Mountaineers just whipped up on number 3 Gonzaga. Holy smokes. Cranky Tiger is here. My goodness. Cranky Tiger is even in the house. Kyle Visser, the architect, has arrived. The Evil Badger, Ryan Willie on Wisconsin. Loser, the Axe game pays up on Saturday. Happy Thanksgiving. Minnesota, Wisconsin, 2 days from now. The battle for the Axe, the longest, most played rivalry in all of college football, power conference programs. Holy smokes. And yes, the Minnesota Golden Gophers are taking back the Axe. We're bringing it home. We are bringing it home. Okay. Let's get to, thank you so much, Ryan Willie. Thank you so much for your generosity once again to our program, helping us keep going here. Thank you, Mr. Ryan Willie, for all that you've done for us. North Carolina. Couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we came on live and we said a lot of it was speculation mixed in with what the North Carolina Money Perch told us. We thought the first job opening would be North Carolina. We thought it would happen differently. We thought there'd be an agreement. We thought Matt Brown would leave. None of that happened. So even when we take the W, we take the L. We also were fooled. I mean, Matt Brown did say, look, I'm coming back. But of course, North Carolina, nobody at North Carolina leadership ever said, yeah, you're coming back. We're going to be back. No. They were silent until yesterday. Bubba Cunningham, Matt Brown is going to be released. He's going to coach this Saturday. North Carolina State maybe coached in the bowl game. I haven't heard the latest on that. But there is now a job search going on. Hot board. Yesterday, during the live show, our hot boards, if you are new to the channel, again, thanks for coming on in. Please subscribe and have your notifications on because we can come on live at any time. There is no structure to the PATC world. We come on with breaking news. We come on giving you our information. We don't subscribe to the clock. So it's a little bit different here. You gotta have us up on your notifications. We don't come on a round number. We didn't come on at 4 o'clock, I think, or 5 o'clock Eastern. I think we came on at we didn't come out at about 11 minutes before 5 o'clock Eastern, something like that. So you gotta be subscribed and have your notifications on. Yesterday when we came on live, our hot boards are not. We don't give a long list of names. We don't do that. We nailed the Kalen DeBoer last year. The Jed Fish. We nailed a whole bunch of them last year. We hope to do the same this year, but there ain't going to be much of a carousel ride. It's going to be a very, very short one. But the jobs that come over, we're going to be doing the poking and the prodding, and we're going to give you what we believe to be true. Yesterday, when we came on live, the Hot Board 1.0 North Carolina, we had John Summerall as number 1. And we explained there's a Kentucky red flag around that candidacy. And number 2, Gene Schumann, the defensive coordinator of Georgia. And then we left the number 3 spot open. We don't go further than 3 names. Sometimes we just have 1 name. I remember when we first came out with the Arizona State 2 years ago hot board, and we had Dillingham number 1 right away, and people said, Greg, he's too young. And I said, well, he's very young, but that is what we're being told. He's the number 1 target. Can they come to an agreement? And it happened. But we don't go further than 3 names. Too many names. I could list you 10 names right now. But it gets to the point where too many names, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Too long of a list doesn't give you any information. So we only give out 3 names, sometimes 2 names, sometimes 1 name. Yesterday we gave 2 names. John Summerall and Mr. Schumann of Georgia. We're going to take out the Schumann. We at Peek Around the Corner, we're not infallible. If we are wrong, I will come out here and take the L. There are times I've had to take the L and then take back the L, and we find out we didn't really have an L, but I will be the first one that comes out here and takes the L if Georgia's defensive coordinator becomes the replacement for Mac Brown. We at Peek Around the Corner believe that we are going to cross him off the list. So we are down to just John Summerall off the list of yesterday. We are going to add a name. We're going to put a name at the number 2 spot. And then we're going to talk about a few other names that could appear tomorrow or this weekend on the number 3, number 2, or the number 1 slot. There's a few names we are just starting to, there's a couple names we need to talk about. So number 1 remains John Summerall with a big Kentucky red flag over it. If North Carolina, if Summerall is their number 1 target, North Carolina is going to ask Summerall for a lot, and John Summerall is most likely going to ask North Carolina for a lot. They both have to show their commitment. And we are very hesitant. While we have here at Peek Around the Corner John Summerall as number one, we don't have him number one with a bullet. That means he's the dead, sure thing number one. We can't do that. The Kentucky red flag or the red alarm button is flashing red because everybody believes that John Summerall is going to become the new Kentucky head coach when Mark Stoops leaves for a different job in the Big Ten. So, number two, replacing Schumann, the defensive coordinator of the Georgia Bulldogs, we are going to put Matt Campbell of Iowa State. And I know what people are going to say. People are going to say, well, Greg, Matt Campbell's agent is always leaking his name. Always leaking his name. Always trying to leverage Iowa State. Always trying to do this. Yes. Yeah. With the head coach approval. Same thing with PJ Fleck. I don't want to I'll give you a little peek around the curtain on something here. I often say I'm talking very vague here, but one of the parts of the college football industry that leaks the most are people in the media companies. The second biggest leakers of the college football world is the agencies. Not so much the agent, but the agencies. Who the agent might own that agency, or he might be part of that agency, but there are leaks coming out of the agencies. So, how do I say this? So it is true. I don't know where those balloons came from. It's because I went like this? I don't know where those balloons came from. No idea. We don't know where those things flying overhead in the UK, those oversensitive military installations. We don't know where those balloons. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's in mowing. We're going to talk about it later, but I'm just going to go ahead and agree with you that it's an internal thing. It's the UK and the United States testing their defenses. I don't really believe that, but it's my only conclusion because every other option is too terrifying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put my trust in Moen Vision. Moen Vision is absolutely correct. Okay. Because everything else is too terrifying. We'll talk about that later in the show. Matt Campbell We know, well, there's a reason why he's being listed for this job, just like all the other jobs, because we believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that his agent has reached out. Yes, so Matt Campbell, for now, in the Hot Board 2.0, is number 2. We are going to leave the third slot blank. We're going to continue to leave it blank. We have been told, again, if we are wrong, we'll take the L. But we have been told that Jamie Chadwell, while it looks great on paper, while maybe the Tar Heel fan base wants him, while maybe some of the boosters want him, it's not going to be Jamie Chadwell. So we have Peek Around the Corner, going to cross him off any potential list. I don't know why. If I did know why, I may not be able to say why, but I don't know why. It's not going to be Jamie Chadwell. Another name that we have been told is not a go, it won't be a go for North Carolina, is Ryan Silverfield of Memphis. Don't expect him to be on the list. Another name that might shoot up the list, the Hot Board, PATC Hot Board, maybe, possibly, we're not going to cross this name off, is Dan Mullen. But we don't have him at number 3. Yesterday we talked about PJ Fleck. I put out a tweet saying that he was going to be a serious, viable candidate for the North Carolina job. We still believe that to be true. We don't have him number 1. We don't have him number 2. We don't even have him number 3. That is blank. We are waiting for more information. We believe we have the ability to be able to put Fleck up or down. So we're just waiting. We went all over the reasons why Fleck is a serious, viable candidate as of right now. We talked about it on our 2 live shows yesterday. Then late last night, and I should have had this ready, and I do apologize. I do not have it ready. Late last night, Reese Davis and Pete Thamel had their college football game day podcast. And Pete Thamel went through 2 lists of names. One that are current head coaches, and then another list that he puts out coordinators and some other long shots. But Pete Thamel believed that North Carolina will not be going with a coordinator. We believe that is true. One of the reasons why we had to take Schumann off the list. Not the only reason. So here is the list, the first list of head coaches that Reese Davis and Pete Thamel talked about on their show last night after we had done our first and second live shows of Tuesday, November 26th. These were the names: Dave Clawson, PJ Fleck, John Sumrall, Bob Chesney, Barry Odom, and Jeff Munkin. We have John Summerall as number 1. Okay? We have John Summerall as number 1 on the list. But it has a big Kentucky red flag over it, and that could very well affect everything. Okay? And let me show you something else here. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. This is the second list. Arthur Smith, Al Golden, Glenn Schumann, Matt Campbell, and Jamie Chadwell. We here at Peek Around the Corner, and I've already said it, we have been told, and I'll take the L. I would take the L if we are wrong. We have been told it's not going to be Jamie Chadwell. We could be wrong. Maybe our sources are going to be wrong. But I'm just letting you guys know that, yes, I mean, Jamie Chadwell's on a lot of lists out there. I don't blame people for putting him on the list. He's been an incredibly successful head coach. We don't have him. So we're going to be a little different than everybody else. First of all, we have a very short list. And we're not going to have Jamie Chadwell. The offensive coordinators and we don't think it's going to be a coordinator. So Matt Campbell, and John Summerall are our number 1 and 2 on the list. Now, when Pete Thamel started talking about his list, he said right away, Dave Clawson, incredibly highly respected. People know what he has done, what he's accomplished. Although he's had the last 2 years have not been good. Said the same thing about PJ Fleck. Everybody in the industry knows that Minnesota has been punching above their weight for years with PJ Fleck. Highly respected. Talked about the 1 year that Bob Chesney has had at James Madison. Has done an outstanding job. Highly respected. Barry Odom. Didn't really talk too much about Odom. Went to Jeff Munkin, and everybody respects the hell out of Jeff Munkin. We at Peek Around the Corner have not heard the names when we've been poking and prodding, and we will continue to do so. We have not heard the name Barry Odom. We have not heard the name Jeff Munkin. Now, if they're the head coach, if they become the head coach, we take the L here at Peek Around the Corner. But it's not like I'm ignoring any of these names. I only can tell you what we've been, at this point, John Summerall and Matt Campbell are 1 and 2. This is our hot board 2.0. Dan Mullen is a name. We know that, well, I shouldn't say we know. We believe that Dan Mullen is interested. We believe that Matt Campbell is interested. At least people representing Matt Campbell are given indications that he's interested. We believe PJ Fleck is interested, or people representing PJ Fleck are indicating that PJ Fleck is interested. And John Summerall, if that happens, it wouldn't shock anybody, but there's going to have to be a built-in commitment from both sides. Let me say this. North Carolina is looking for a head coach that has produce, and this is why we don't think it's going to be a coordinator or a current coordinator. We have been told that North Carolina is looking for a head coach that has produced in a way in which he hasn't had every resource available to that coach because he's not going to have it right away at North Carolina. A head coach that runs a tight ship, and a head coach that has been able to deliver on a consistent basis. Not a flash in the pan. And we also been told that that John Summerall probably, in a world with no other external factors, would be the number one with the bullet. But there are other factors involved. So this is why Matt Campbell is number 2. This is why PJ Fleck is a serious, viable candidate. We are going to stand by that report 100%. So that is the hot board. Number 1, Summerall. Number 2, Matt Campbell. Could it change by tomorrow? Absolutely. Could it change by tonight? Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Keep your head on a swivel. And stay tuned to Peek Around the Corner. We're going to take your comments and phone calls later in the show on who you believe that North Carolina is targeting. Who do you think they're going to get? Who do you think they should get? Let us know on your thoughts on North Carolina football, because somebody is going to take charge. A new day at North Carolina. They are absolutely turning the page. And keep an eye on Bubba Cunningham. We've been talking about it for 6 weeks. 2025 is the year of Bubba. Keep an eye on that. Okay, so we are going to make our selections. We're going to make our picks. And again, the PATC community, the family, is struggling. The family is absolutely struggling. The family is... What is your record? What is your record? Your record is 56-79 against the spread. You are 3 games behind Greg the Gold. So let's do it. Let's get this done. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Then we're going to take your calls on North Carolina. Anything else in college football? We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on over the UK for the 7th consecutive days. There are unmanned vehicles flying all over the place over installations, and they haven't been stopped yet. We're going to talk about that for a few minutes. Okay, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, you guys are going first. The PATC family is going first. We've got 13 games. 13 games. Does Tulane, who still has a shot to get into the playoffs, absolutely, does Tulane Greenway cover the minus 13.5 point spread versus Memphis? The voting begins now. SG, thanks for coming on in. UNC won't be the other team looking at Summerall on those head coaches. Look out for UCF in West Virginia, 2 for coaching. Vox Quindaro, the green wave crashes. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 58% says yes. The PATC community takes Tulane. Oh boy, here we go. It is going to be a lot of these games this week, man. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Does Boise State, and Boise State needs some beautification on their candidacy. They need to push the gas on all gas, no brakes for the Broncos. But can they do it? They've been slipping and sliding the last couple weeks. Does Boise State cover minus 18.5 point spread versus Oregon State? The voting begins now. $18.5 points. Oregon State, Boise State. Going to be Pac-12 conference mates in 2 more years. Okay, this is a landslide. Absolute landslide. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 80% says no. My goodness, the PATC community takes the Oregon State Beavers in an absolute landslide. Okay, PATC geniuses. All right. Here we go. You got this wrong last week. You got this wrong last week. Do not get this wrong this week, you geniuses. Don't underestimate the Gopher. Do not do that. Do not do that. Here we go. Here we go. Does the Evil Badgers cover the minus 2.5 point spread versus my beloved Minnesota Golden Gophers? The voting begins now. Greg applying no pressure on our votes. Yes. Yes. Gonzaga gets upset by West Virginia. Yes. Five more seconds on the vote. We have a close one here. We have a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 55% says no. I have never been as proud as I am of the PATC family than I am right now. This is my most proudful moment. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You guys took the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Good for you guys. We got a lot more interesting games up ahead here. Does Georgia cover the minus 19.5 point spread versus Georgia Tech? The voting begins now. Wow. Wow, we sort of have a landslide here. We got a landslide. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 72% says no. My goodness. Georgia Tech in a landslide. I don't know about that one, guys. The game. The game. The game. Buckeyes head coach Day, you better not lose this game. You better not lose this game. Here we go. Does Ohio State cover the minus 20.5 point spread? Oh my goodness. Versus the team up north, Michigan. The voting begins now. Don Scruggs, bless your hearts. Ryan Brooks, the SEC hate is real. Kevin Pryor, the Bulldogs roll. Playing in Athens, too much for the Yellow Jackets. The rambling wreck of Georgia Tech. Okay, we're going to give you guys 5 more seconds on this vote. 5, 4, it's a close one. 3, 2, 1. 55% says no. Michigan is the pick. Michigan is the pick. Oh boy, here we go. The game that could decide the last playoff berth, the last at-large playoff berth. I think both of these teams, whoever is the winner of this game, only needs one little bit more chaos in front of them to happen. And I think the Gamecocks or the Tigers are going to slip into the playoffs. This is a big game. Does Clemson... Whoops, I screwed that up. Hold on. Does Clemson cover the minus 2.5 point spread? Big rivalry game over South Carolina. The voting begins now. Ryan Willie, Badgers will shock the college football world. Not according to the PATC family. They took Minnesota. We'll see what I do, Ryan Willie. I'm not going to eat no cheeseburger live on this show. Absolutely not. I need the Gophers to beat the Badgers in Madison. This is a close vote. We got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, 52% says yes. That was our closest vote by far. The PATC family takes the Clemson Tigers to cover, to barely cover, to just cover the minus 2.5 point spread. If you guys can give me a moment, give me one moment before we get to the next game. Just got to clean something up here. One moment. Thanks for your patience. We got a lot more to get to. We've got a lot to get to, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. Thank you so much for your generosity, Ryan Willie. Appreciate it so very much. Thank you so very much. Hold on, everybody. Okay. You must be from Tennessee because you are the only 10 I see. The Volunteers at Vanderbilt, the Commodores. Oh boy. Now this is a chaos game, a potential chaos game. Does Tennessee cover the minus 11 point spread versus Vanderbilt? The voting begins now. The biggest South Carolina bragging right game ever. Huge. AAR. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. My goodness. Chief fan is hoping and praying that the West Virginia Mountaineers make a replacement of the head coach. Now, Chief fan, if it happens, it's going to happen like on a Sunday, on a Monday. It's going to happen quick. I haven't gotten any steam on it. We're 50-50 here in Tennessee Vanderbilt. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are in overtime. The next vote will decide. We need one more vote to decide. Yes or no, Tennessee over Vanderbilt. One more vote. The next vote will decide it. We are in overtime. One more voter. That's it. 52% says no. 52% says no. Vanderbilt is the pick for the PATC family. My goodness. My goodness. The PATC family is voting for chaos all over the place. Well, if they're voting for chaos all over the place, well, this is the game for them. Does Notre Dame Fighting Irish cover the minus 7.5 point spread versus USC Trojans? The voting begins now. I don't think Greg the Gold is going to vote for chaos. I don't think I'm going to choose chaos. But you're going to have to find out. You're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. Don Scruggs. Suddenly Don Scruggs is saying, oh, they're going to lose outright, Greg. Suddenly Don Scruggs is for chaos when it's outside the SEC. I see how this works. Kevin Pryor. I got a feeling that Vanderbilt will win one of the biggest games in Nashville in a long time. The Commanders win. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 71% says no. Again, the community takes chaos. The community, the PATC family, votes for chaos in the USC Trojans. Well, oh, well, oh, well, oh, well. Here we go. Very tricky game here. Does Miami cover the minus 10.5 point spread versus Syracuse? The voting begins now. Five more seconds on the vote. and it's a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 53% says no. Again, the PATC community chooses chaos and they take the orange. Wow. Wow. Okay, now, is the PATC community, is the PATC family going to decide against chaos all of a sudden when it comes to Arizona State? Does Arizona State cover the -9-point spread versus their rival Arizona? The voting begins now. Five more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 72% says Arizona State will cover. Will cover in the PATC family. 3 more games left to go. Farmageddon. Holy smokes. Woohoo! Here we go, guys. Does Iowa State cover the -2.5-point spread versus Kansas State? The voting begins now. 5 more seconds on the vote. Kansas State, Iowa State. It's a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 53% says no. That is an interesting vote by the PATC family. You guys have just taken Kansas State. 2 more games left. We got the Iron Bowl. We had Auburn upsetting Texas A&M last week. We had Alabama going down hard against Oklahoma. Does Alabama cover -11-point spread versus Auburn? The voting begins. Whoops. Sorry, guys. That's -11.5-point spread. The voting begins now. We got one more game after this one. And I think you guys know what that one game is. I think you guys know what that one game is. We're not doing Kansas and Baylor, Taytown Hawk. I apologize. We've already got 13 games. 5 more seconds on the vote. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Landslide. 70% takes Auburn. Alabama will not cover. And now for the last game. For the very last game, Texas at Texas A&M College Station. The Longhorns are favored by 5 points. Does Texas cover the -5 point spread versus their hated rival, Texas A&M? The voting begins now. Five more seconds on the vote. It's a close one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 55% says no. PATC family took Texas A&M. Wow. I'm going to tell you guys right now. You guys have been in a slide lately. The PATC family has been sliding. That's why you guys are 3 games behind me. I have to tell you, this week 14 prediction against the spread, I think you guys' picks can only be described as the following. I'm pretty much going opposite on almost every single game that you guys just did. Last week was chaos. This week, almost everything settles down. Here we go. Here are my picks. I'm going to do them. Preston from Greensboro. Greg had one decent week, and now he's got a big head. That is true. But just let me go with it. Let me roll with it. I'm so used to being a loser. Just let me be a winner and let me enjoy it before it all goes pear-shaped on me. Before it all goes pear-shaped. Okay. Here it is, guys. Tulane. I agree with you guys on Tulane. They're going to whoop up on Memphis. Okay? Tulane whoops up on Memphis. Boise State, they're going to wake up and they're going to whoop up on the Beavers. You guys took Oregon State. I'm taking Boise State. Boise State knows it has to be all gas and no brakes. This one you got right as well. I mean, my goodness. Minnesota's going to beat the brakes off the Badgers. We're taking the axe home. We are taking the axe home. We're taking it from Madison to Minneapolis. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. The Minnesota Golden Gophers not only cover that ridiculous spread, but they're going to win the game outright. Georgia Tech at Georgia. Georgia is going to blow out the Yellow Jackets. That is going to be an easy cover. Easy cover for the Bulldogs. Michigan and the Buckeyes, easy cover for the Buckeyes. Look, if the Buckeyes are winning by 12 points with 8 minutes to go, they're still going to go try to score a couple times. The Buckeyes are not going to let up this game. The spread doesn't even... The Buckeyes are going to win this game by a lot more than 20 points, ladies and gentlemen. But you guys fell for the trap. You guys fell for the trap. You fell right in the hole. And now I'm going to bury you all. The Buckeyes are going to win this game by at least 30. South Carolina at Clemson. Now this is the game. Boy. This is the most difficult game of the week. because South Carolina has been playing such excellent football. Clemson needed a Klubnik 50-yard touchdown run to squeak it out recently. The moment might be a little bit too much for Coach Beamer. South Carolina is going to team we're going to have to be looking at next year. For that reason, I am taking Clemson in a very close and most probable controversial game. Tennessee and Vanderbilt, I agree with the PATC family. Vanderbilt is going to cover. Tennessee is a slipping and a sliding. Notre Dame at USC. I think this is going to be a competitive game for a while, but I got the Irish. Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the end is going to roll over the Trojans. Miami at Syracuse. I've got Miami covering this, winning by 20 points. I've got Miami. I do not think this is going to be a chaos weekend. That was last week, and Arizona State is going to whoop up on Arizona. The Sun Devils win big. I do agree with you guys on that one. Kansas State at Iowa State. Iowa State is going to go down. Sorry, Matt Neeson. Sorry, Stormy Cyclones and the rest of the Cyclone Nation. Kansas State is going to win this game by 10 at Ames, Iowa. Auburn at Alabama. Auburn is going to cover this game. I do agree with you on that. And Texas A&M and Texas, the Longhorns are going to blow the doors off the Aggies in College Station. It's going to be a horrible day for Texas A&M. I do apologize, but I am taking the Longhorns. So, our predictions for Week 14. We both have Tulane. You all got Oregon State. I got Boise State. We both have the Minnesota Golden Gophers. You got Georgia Tech Ramblin' Wreck. I've got the Georgia Bulldogs. You got Michigan. The PATC family took Michigan. I took the Buckeyes. We both got Clemson. We both got Vanderbilt. You guys took the Trojans. I took the Fighting Irish. You took the Orange. I took the Hurricane. We both took Arizona State. We both took Kansas State. We both took Auburn. You guys got the Aggies. I have got the Longhorns. Again, going into Week 14, my record against the spread is 59-76, and the PATC family is 56-79. Okay, thank you for all that. We're going to open up the phone lines. Open line Wednesday for the rest of the afternoon. Let me know what you're thinking of college football. Let me know. Brick Brat. Preston from Greensboro is 100% correct. Thank you for your super chat, Brick Bat. I do appreciate it. He is correct. I am getting a big head. I already have, physically, I got a monster of a head as it is. But I understand what you guys are saying. Thank you, Brick Bat. Appreciate your generosity once again to this channel. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. I do appreciate it. John Teal, what happens if Tech beats Georgia? Well, we've got issues. Then we've got problems. I think Georgia Tech is all nicked up, though. I think they've got a lot of injuries. That's why that spread is the way it is. They just came out with another close victory, but I really think that this spread is somewhat of an indication that people are acknowledging, the bettors out there, the smart money, that Georgia Tech is all beaten up. All beaten up. So we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, John Teal, for your generosity once again. I do appreciate it. Again, Ryan Willie, I do appreciate the badges will shock the college football world. They might shock them. They might shock the world by how bad they lose to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. One more thing before we get to your phone calls. Before we get to your phone calls, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. What is going on in the UK? Because let me tell you something. I have no idea. I have no idea. The UK government has warned that those behind the drone incursions will be shown the full force of the law. Defense Minister Maria Eagle said it was taking steps after the mystery drones were spotted over military locations. There's a picture of one of those drones. I have been following this story for 6 days. This has been going on for 7 days. Drones have been flying over 3 airfields that the United States has in the UK. And we don't know who's controlling these unmanned vehicles. We don't know if it's an adversary. We don't know if it's a group of people who are just making fun of trying to cause some problems. Today, there has been people in the UK locally who have told the story. Like, I've got a drone, but I can't even get it off the ground. I have to travel 100 miles away to play with my drone. If I'm next to this military airfield, electronically, I can't even, they jam my drones easily. I can't even get it off the ground. And yet there are unmanned vehicles flying all over the place with all sorts of different lights. And the UK, United States, consider them together. It's in the UK, but it's United States airfield. They've been sending up fighter planes, trying to chase these vehicles, trying to figure out where they're coming from. In the beginning of the 7 consecutive days this has happened. In the beginning, there was a big storm in the UK. There was heavy winds up there, but yet these unmanned vehicles could stay in place and hover for an hour. Look, all I'm saying is this. The United States and the UK, but let's focus on the United States, they have the means to jam most drones. They can take down military drones. I'm not going to say with ease, but it doesn't take much. The sensitive installations that the United States have over the Middle East continually they take drones down all the time. Often these drones are created in Iran and they sell it to their proxies, and the proxies fly them over to military installations of the United States, and the drones get shot down or they get brought down. Our Navy ships bring down drones all the time. We have radars that we can see where things are leaving, where things end up. We are constantly able to look at things and see where they're launching from and where they land. But yet, we have been unable to do this with these drones for 7 days. And by the way, the same thing happened over Langley in Virginia in December of 2023. In fact, the same colored lights, looks like it's the same unmanned vehicles flying with no impediment. We can't stop them. We don't know where they're coming from. Nobody has been arrested yet. If these were Russians, don't you think they'd be using them in Ukraine? Russians' drones are being shot down all the time. If they're the Chinese, why are they being so brazen? Why are they sending over these unmanned vehicles, and maybe we bring one down and then we can reverse engineer it and then we can blame the Chinese government? I am hoping, I am praying that people like Mo and Vision are correct, that maybe, just maybe, this is an internal exercise to test ourselves, that there are unmanned vehicles. I don't happen to believe that's true because there are safety issues. You don't have black projects. You don't test black projects against yourself unless everybody on the ground knows about it for safety reasons. Number one, if they are our unmanned vehicles and we're testing them out, I mean, the whole world has been watching this. China might be able to figure something out if they think that these are. I don't think it's ours. I have no idea who it is. It might be 20 people. It might be a terrorist cell. It might be some rich guy, some rich woman out there who has found a way to fly unmanned drones that won't get knocked down electronically, or fighter planes can't get to them. I have no idea what's going on, but it is a massive story no matter what it is. Even if it's our own, it's a massive story because this has been, and by the way, just to add one more piece of intrigue. Just one more piece of intrigue. Yes, that's been done, Moen. It has been done, but there have been military guys in the last 20 years who say we cannot. For example, that Tic Tac in 2004, Colonel Fravor, when those Tic Tacs were seen by radar for days and days, and they finally sent up Favor and his people up to him, and they see these Tic Tacs. Favor says there's no way that was a test against us because I could have lost my life. And then he was told by the upper heads, no way is that us testing against each other. We don't know what these things are. I don't know what's going on, obviously, but it's a massive story. So I just wanted to bring that up once again. College football, give us a call. 763-260-1333, 763-260-1333. The phone lines are now open. Should be open right now. Open right now. Give us a call. Give us a call. Talk about any of these games. Talk about the North Carolina. What is going on here? What is going on here? Something is... Okay. I think that'll work. I think that will work.
Call from Evil Badger.
The Evil Badger, Ryan Willie, is on the line. The floor is yours.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
All right. So, there's some other thing. Well, I kind of want to talk about what happened last night with the rankings.
Got it. Go ahead. Beautiful. Sounds good.
And I think the reason why Alabama is put at 13 is if they win the Iron Bowl, which I hope Auburn wins, so I don't see Alabama in the playoff. But that's the reason why they kept them so high. And in my opinion, it's a sham.
What's a sham?
The playoff the playoff is a sham. Because there's no way Alabama should be even considered for a playoff spot right now.
Who should be ranked ahead of Alabama? That is not right now.
That is not.
I know it sounds ridiculous that they're number 13, but I'm just going to ask, is there any team that you know of that is ranked behind Alabama that you think should be ahead of Alabama?
Well, I just know that they have 3 losses, and they should not have lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and the way they lost was horrific. Absolutely. Yep.
And I don't remember the whole ranking, the poll or whatever you want to call it. So I can't say who would be higher than them. But
do you think Arizona State should be higher than Alabama? Arizona State was, what were they, 16?
Oh, I think Arizona State should be ahead of Alabama. And I think the only reason why Arizona State is not ahead of Alabama is because they're in the Big 12.
Okay. Well, a lot of people agree with you.
But I looked at another super chat. So what I said was, it's worth seeing you eat a cheeseburger, potentially eating a cheeseburger, is worth me potentially buying 20 memberships.
I got that super chat up right now. Greg, seeing you potentially eating a cheeseburger, I might not even survive that. Is worth potentially buying 20 memberships. Bucky keeps the axe. Well, I got news for you, Ryan Willie. The Buckeyes are not going to keep the axe, baby. It's coming home. It's coming home to Minneapolis.
I disagree. Because I think Fickle's job depends on keeping the axe.
Huh?
And keeping...
Luke Fickle is going to be out-coached by P.J. Fleck. Holy smokes.
If the Badger Bowl streak ends and they lose the axe, that's another strike against Fickle, and I don't think he survives.
Wow, you don't
more
think
than
so, huh?
like a half season next year.
So
they got a brutal schedule next year.
So if the Gophers defeat the Badgers this Friday, we're 2 days away now, okay?
Yep.
If that happens, you don't think Luke Fickle is going to survive? Is that what you're saying?
In my opinion, I don't think he survives. People are already calling for him to be fired now, as it is. And
wow.
The great Alvarez is disappointed in how this, in what direction the program is going in, and he's not happy either. And Alvarez still has a lot of pull, even though he's not AD or head coach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got.
All right, man. I appreciate it,
All
Ryan
right.
Willie. We're going to try to do a watch party Friday for the game. So
I'll be at the game freezing my butt off.
Oh, you're going to be at the game. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be at the game freezing my butt off for 20-degree weather.
Okay. Well, you might be leaving at halftime. I ain't saying, but I'm saying you might be leaving at halftime. I appreciate the phone call, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Got it. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Space Voyager Flugar would be the best action figure. Yeah. Alani Ted. So balloons over the US, drones over the UK. What's next? Kites over Australia. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, for those if these are not our own, if this is not a test against ourselves, then we are in a world of hurt, ladies and gentlemen. Call me the modern day, what's that guy who rode on a horse? Paul Revere. Call me the modern day Paul Revere. I can't even say the name. Paul Revere. Because if that is not our own stuff, we are not able to stop it. Go back in December. Google it. Google it. B. Kurt Signetti. Google it. Google what happened in December of 2023 over Langley. We had to move. You know what we did at Langley? We had to move our fighter jets out of the area because we did not know if these vehicles had payloads. We could not bring them down. If you can fly unimpeded through our installations, the next thing all you have to do is attach a little bit of a payload.
From
Moen from East.
Moen, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours. Talk me off the ledge.
You're gonna have to talk me off the ledge. I thought we were friends, Greg. Why are you picking Ohio State?
Oh, I've been hot. Look, Moen, it's all turned around. It's all now. You want me to pick the Buckeyes? You want me to pick the? I have turned the corner here. I peek around the corner, Moen. I am Greg the Gold, no longer Greg the Cooler, because I had one decent week out of 14. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Well, as far as Wisconsin versus Minnesota, I'm pretty 50-50 on it. But I will say this. You got to remember who Luke Fickell coached under. He coached under Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Those two guys knew how to get the team up for a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Regardless of how their season was.
Yeah. We're playing. The Gophers are playing better. It's in Madison. I think one of the unfortunate parts of this game is I do think the Badgers are going to run on us. But I think Braden Locke is going to have a bad day against us. Honestly, I do. So I think we're going to take him at the end.
I'm still 50-50 on it, Greg,
Yeah.
but I would not discount the Badgers out of hand. I think Luke Fickell's going to have them ready to play. I think the defense is going to be stout like they were against Oregon, and I think they do enough they could potentially get it done. But I just wanted to put that out there. I would love to see you eat a cheeseburger, though. We said it on our show the other night. I think you should get Culver's. Get a Culver's cheeseburger, one of their butter burgers with extra cheese on it. I think you would enjoy it. You would love it. It's delicious.
Guy, if the drones don't kill me, you're going to kill me with this cheeseburger. Now, let me ask you, Moen. I know this is a college football YouTube channel, and we've been talking about it on X. But would you agree with me that if this isn't our own technology, that we are in a world of hurt?
Yes, but I'm quite certain it is our own technology.
Okay. I'm praying you are correct.
I truly think this is part of the intelligence apparatus. They have to operate beyond governmental control sometimes to check preparedness. I think they're checking either preparedness
or they're confirming whether or not they're going to send these drones over to other countries to do, spying. But my main point is if you've got lights on there, you've got your directional lights, your navigational lights. If you really wanted to do reconnaissance with these, you would black them out. They would have no lights on them. The fact that they're putting directional and navigational lights on them to keep air traffic alert to prevent collisions tells me that there's some safety protocols going on with this.
Now, this has been happening for 7 straight days. Do they need to do 7 straight days of testing?
Oh, absolutely. You want to get the biggest sample size you can, Greg.
Okay.
I mean, you got to look at where they're flying over here.
Do you think this is connected to Langley?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Langley, FBI headquarters in Langley, absolutely.
Now, there was, and there's a bunch of videos on it, there was these lights, similar lights or exactly the same lights, flying over a airport in China just a couple months ago, and China had to shut down the airport, and the people came out of there with their phones, and they were filming these unmanned vehicles way up there with flashing lights. So even China, so if that's connected to this, we've already been using these spots. I don't know. These are been seen around the world, but they might not all be the same, right? So,
right. Yeah, but they've definitely been modified.
Okay, so I'm hoping
you're not going to go pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping beyond hope that you are correct, because
right. I mean, these are drones. These are not reverse alien technology. I don't believe these are foreign actors. I just,
okay.
This just reeks of intelligent apparatus to me.
Okay. All right. I
could be
right.
wrong, Greg.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Why? Of course. Who knows? I mean, you got a better answer than I got. I got nothing. Nothing makes you are the only one. That conclusion is the only one that has any logical sense to it. But even that, I'm having a hard time, because just the way people are like we are endangering people. Like our fighter jets are, we've had over the UK airfields, there is a refueling tanker that keeps circling around, refueling these jet. I don't know. It's I'm gonna go with what you're saying, but I'm hoping you are correct.
Yeah, maybe they just want to see how the population's going to react to it too. There's lots of particular reasons why, but
these are not your typical drones, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
these drones.
Some of these are commercial drones.
I over the UK. I don't know, man. They were okay. A couple things. One is in the 7 consecutive days. Early on, there was this big storm over the UK, and they were hovering for over an hour with heavy winds. And commercial drones, your typical drone, these drones can't do that. Drones can't do that. Number two, it came out about an hour before it came on live. One of the gentlemen, YouTubers out in the UK, who's been YouTubing, who's been showing these vehicles every single night and listening to the jet fighters going after them and seeing the jet engines glow while they're going after these vehicles, and then the vehicles take off. His YouTube was taken down. His channel was taken down by authorities. Now, that might lead into what you're saying, but it also might lead into saying, we're screwed. We know we're screwed. We can't have the whole world know we're screwed. I don't know.
I don't know, Greg, but we desperately need Art Bell back. So until then, you're just going to have to do, Greg. You're going to have to
okay.
Start up a show at midnight called Coast to Coast.
Got it. Peek around the world. Peek around the world.
Peek around the world, or peek around the coast.
And you're going to be my co-host.
Yeah. Now, I'm just going to call it, and you have to announce me as East of the Rockies.
East of the Rockies. Got it. Art Bell. All right, Mon, anything else, sir?
Nope. Have a happy Thanksgiving to all the Peek Around the Corner people. Have a happy Thanksgiving. You're traveling.
Yeah.
Please stay safe. Don't want anybody to get injured on the roadways. So that's all, Greg. I will talk to you later.
You got it. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Call from
Tristan Fives.
Tristan, can you hold up a second?
Certainly.
I should have said this when Moen was on, but whatever. Moen can yell at me for whatever. He has ways he can yell at me. That is a good point, the lights. The thing about the lights is they change in colors. They go from red to green to blue. I mean, why the extravagant lights? If you're going to have navigation lights, just have 2 different color lights. It's some of these look like, some of them don't look like. Some of them don't look like a drone at all. They look like a round circle with a, I don't know, guys. But anyways, Tristan, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, hey, listen, Greg. So I know this is not really what the show is supposed to be about,
Yeah.
but since you broached it,
Yeah.
I think on a potentially related story, there's all these talking head shows on YouTube where people do interviews and stuff, and as well as other channels. And there's a guy named, I think his name is Kevin Arnett or Kevin Annett, and he's Canadian.
Okay.
And I have heard him speak, and this is going back like 5 years now. He's been saying that there's Chinese troops in Canada. And I don't know if that could be related to the story or not, but if they've got military forces in Canada that have been allowed into the country, anything's possible here. It doesn't have to be Russian. It could be Chinese. I mean, who knows what kind of tech this is?
Yeah.
And it's all just speculation, but I think that if people seek out that information, that would be very surprising and shocking.
Let me show you guys something here. Now this was just posted. This was posted 35 minutes ago. 35 minutes ago. So if nothing is happening, why was this YouTube channel that was live streaming the UFO or drone sightings taken down? The night shift, I don't know what this is, from Clint Weldon. The night checked on the channel's owner, and he is okay. He will be a guest on the Clint Show later this week, so he can hopefully tell us what happened with his Liberty Wing UK channel. So somebody out there who's been live YouTube, and I've been watching it, live streaming what has been going on over one of the installations, the Lakenheath one, his channel has been shut down by the authorities, but just wanted to show you that. Okay, go ahead, Tristan.
Yeah, so just to reiterate, Chinese troops in Canada, that sounds weird. I think our Air Force has technology that would look like sort of, I guess, alien or UFO technology to us. The infamous TR-3B aircraft. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, Google it and check it out. It's supposed to be one of our most advanced aircraft. And, like I said, who knows what we really got? It's all top secret. Unless you have some kind of clearance, you're not really going to be able to crack the code on all this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wanted to throw out that little tidbit about Canada.
Sure.
And surprisingly, I don't have an opinion to share on the playoff. So.
Yeah. Alrighty, sir.
All right.
I appreciate
Greg, I'll
the call.
talk to you later.
Appreciate the call.
All right, bye-bye.
So, Our schedule for the rest of the week, we're going to be doing the watch party for the Gophers and the Badgers. For the Axe. It doesn't matter if 3 people show up, 4 people show up, or if it's just me alone in the studio. I'm going to be doing the watch party, Gophers versus the Badgers. This is an important one for me. This is a very important game for me. We want the Axe. We got to have the Axe. If we don't get the Axe, I am going to go nuclear. So it's got to happen. This Friday, starting about 11:45 Eastern, 11:45 in the morning Eastern.
Call from
Rick?
Rick, can you hold on for one moment?
Sure
I
can.
appreciate it. Then this Saturday, I do not know what our schedule is going to be. I don't know what our schedule is on Saturday. We have been doing a ton of watch parties. As you all know, we do more than any other college football channel out there, and it's not even close. I do not know there's so many games. I don't know if we should just come on live and follow everything and have an open line Saturday and just follow everything that's going on instead of focusing on one game in particular. Generally, I like to focus on 1 or 2 games, watch party, and then we're keeping an eye on everything. But this might be this last Saturday, we might have to just open line it. The phone lines will be continuing to be open, and we're all watching everything that's going on and speculating on how it's affecting for the conference championship games and everything else. But I'm not sure. Anyways, go ahead, caller. The floor is yours. Tristan, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Rick.
Rick, I'm sorry. Tristan was just on the line. Sorry, Rick. The floor is yours.
No worries. Just trying to get some insight if there's any money perch talk now that Bubba has kind of shown his hand a little bit with possible future head coaches, and depending upon who's chosen, probably before Monday, after their last game, who, if any particular head coach would tilt the scales toward revealing what the Tar Heels' future is.
Yeah, I think I don't know what obviously I do not know what their future is. I think we are under the belief that Bubba Cunningham is going to be rolling the dice here in 2025, and he has started by bringing on a new head coach. I don't think this is the last time we're going to hear from Bubba Cunningham.
And rolling the dice kind of means private equity.
It could.
And if he selects that avenue, if he selects private equity, what might that mean?
It could. We don't know. It could mean on a university level, or on a conference level, or on a dissolution conference, and then on a conference level, or maybe even something even bigger than that. I do not know.
I'm of the belief that even at the smallest level would be the university level alone. I'm of the belief that if private equity is used by any university or conference, the doors get blown off nationally. That opens the door, Pandora's box, if you will, and all the evil spirits come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could rip. And then you're going to have others that follow, right? It's always the first one that's the hardest one. When you're going into a new world of something. So, yeah. And I'm not saying that North Carolina is going to be the first one. I'm not saying it's going to be at a university level. But I will say if private equity comes into the college football space in 2025, I think it's going to be led by one Brett Yormark or Bubba Cunningham. At least that's what we think. That's what we've been told. That's what we're keeping an eye on.
But I think that Sankey and Petiti would immediately respond.
Mm-hmm.
Insofar as we're not going to allow that to happen. That would, what am I trying to say? It's almost like we're not going to allow you to catch up. That's why I kind of got a kick out of who that caller was. I think it was yesterday. I'm getting the shows mixed up. From Cincinnati, who proposed a 16-team playoff with 4-4-3-3. That's not going to happen. It might be 4-4-2-2 on a 14-team playoff.
Mm-hmm.
But Sankey and Petiti are not going to go along with 4-4-3-3.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They're not prepared to surrender anything.
Yeah, probably not.
If private equity comes to the Big 12 or the ACC or one particular school, whatever, they're going to quadruple it. Well, that's my call.
Yeah. I don't, it's a interest, if it happens, right? If private equity comes in, let's say at a conference level, when it comes to the Big 12, and maybe followed up by the ACC or a condensed ACC, whatever, it'll be interesting. What will be the Big 10 and the SEC's reaction? Will they follow it up and do the same themselves and just bring more money into it, or will both conferences continue to say, no, this is not part of our future. We do not want to have a private equity as part of our partnership. We don't want to give up any more ownership of our conference. We've already given up enough to ESPN and Fox. But it will be interesting to see what the response would be from the Power 2 if the ACC and the Big 12 go down the private equity road. And I think they will. So I think that's going to be a question that's going to need to be answered.
You and the little general and your mom have a great, happy Thanksgiving.
You got it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Great call, Rick. Appreciate it.
Later. Bye.
Rod can rant. If you think the UK UAP conspiracy is wild, let me tell you about ESPN and the SEC. All right, guys. We are going to close it up. We've been on the air for an hour and 50 minutes. I want to thank you all for joining us once again. We delivered our North Carolina Hot Board 2.0. Number 1, Mr. Summerall. Number 2, Mr. Campbell. And number 3, we're keeping it open. PJ Fleck, we think that's there's real interest. Campbell, we think there's real interest. Summerall, we think there's a Kentucky red flag around that candidacy. But we're going to keep them number 1 for now. But we do not think it's going to be Jamie Chadwell of Liberty. We don't think he is going to be in the mix. We also don't think Schumann is in the mix for Georgia. That is the big change from Hot Board 1.0. So there was a change We delivered it, reported it to you today. Hot Board 2.0, North Carolina. We made our selections for week 14. Greg the Gold is going to be making another appearance. I'm on a roll. I am hot. I am hot. We'll see you for sure on Friday. We might even do a Thanksgiving special if there is breaking news. Breaking news in college football or over the airfields in the UK. Thursday, Thanksgiving special is a possibility. If not, we're going to be seeing you guys Friday. Watch party. Gophers, Golden Gophers against the Evil Badgers. Until next time, from all of us at PATC to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.